World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the speakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. Government refutes signing any MOU with DRC for the export of maize or meal. Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali commissions the 100 kilowatt solar. UN says it has credible reports of summary executions during Syria fighting. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page 5FM Radio Zambia and our YouTube channel 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sani Banda. Acting Minister of Agriculture Peter Kapala has clarified that government has not signed any memorandum of understanding with the Democratic Republic of Congo for the export of maize or meal. In a statement, Engineer Kapala has, however, noted that government has received inquiries for maize exports from the Democratic Republic of Congo and other neighboring countries, and negotiations are still ongoing. He has noted that the country this year produced an estimated record bumper harvest of 3,655,646 metric tons of maize and had a carryover maize of 384,909. Says 40,645 maize. He says the national requirement for both human consumption and industry use, including strategic food reserve, currently stands at 3,539,024 metric tons. Engineer Kapala has therefore stated that the country has a projected surplus of 101,621 metric tons. He says this means that the country may consider exporting the surplus maize in the form of meal and other value-added products once the Food Reserve Agency meets the required tonnage for the country's strategic reserves. Engineer Kapala says currently government's priority is to buy maize from farmers in a bid to build up the country's national strategy's food reserves and open up satellite depots in areas where the moisture content has reached the required 12.5%. Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali has commissioned the 100 kilowatt solar-powered hybrid system for the Ministry of Transport and Logistics. The total cost of the project was 5.2 million kwacha, VAT inclusive. Speaking during the announcement, Mr. Tayali says this project marks a significant milestone in the migration to other sources of renewable energy as directed by the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on 20th February 2024. The directive of the Republican President, Cabinet Circular number 13 of 2024, was issued by the Secretary to the Cabinet on 26th April 2024, directing all public institutions to install solar-powered systems to meet the energy needs of government institutions and to mitigate the attendant power deficit. The minister stated that the ministry spent a lot of money on fuel to procure diesel for the genset before the installation of solar. Mr. Tayali says the solar power systems installed is now the primary source of power during the day, with ZESCO being the secondary source to supplement power in instances when the solar power does not sufficiently meet the power demand. The minister added that the ministry is already exporting in excess of 200 kilowatts of power generated by the solar system on a clear sky into the national grid through net metering.
Nature has taught us that climate change is an existential threat, and we have to be proactive in attending to this particular threat. And so through the president, he has brought in revolutionary reforms, the net metering, which affords us to actually be able to supply excess power into the national grid. the open access, the commercial tariffs, all should spur all investments in the energy revolution, so that Zambia will upon hydropower, come rain or indeed no rain.
South African High Commissioner Saad Kachalia has paid tribute to Nelson Mandela's enduring legacy and highlighted Zambia's pivotal role in South Africa's liberation struggle. Today, Zambia commemorated Mandela Day at the Oliver Tambo House, marking the annual observance on July 18th in honor of Nelson Mandela's birthday. Mandela Day was established by the United Nations in November 2009, with the first official UN Mandela Day celebrated on July 18, 2020. Speaking at the event, Mr. Kachalia reminded attendees of Mandela's unwavering commitment to freedom, noting that Mandela dedicated 67 years to the struggle, including 27 years of imprisonment. He recorded the harsh conditions Mandela endured, including labor that caused lasting damage to his eyesight and overall health. He also expressed gratitude to Zambia's late first president Kenneth Kaunda for providing sanctuary and support to South African freedom fighters, notably assisting Oliver Tambo in sustaining the anti-apartheid movement.
7 years. He had every reason and right to take it. One of the things went to the wife of the architect and founder of apartheid, Hendrik Verwoerd. He went to his widow, to her house. She didn't come to him. He was the president of our country. So Mandela was great. And I saw her chanting up here. Mandela's face song for it was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And he was wrong. But I don't blame him. After 20 years, he couldn't practice.
Also addressing at the same event, Macmillan Mundenda, Executive Acting Director of the National Heritage or Conservation Commission, NHCC, underscored this year's Mandela Day theme, still in the hands of emphasizing the ongoing struggle against poverty and inequality. He further noted the profound historical importance of the Oliver Tambo House, which served as Mr. Tambo's residence during his exile, a critical period in South Africa's fight for independence. The Association of Manufacturers ZAM says it is seeking meaningful partnerships with African countries to enhance intra-African trade following its participation at the just ended 2025 Manufacturing Endeavour, which was held in South Africa. The Manufacturing Endeavour is an annual event dedicated to driving Africa's reindustrialization by fostering local manufacturing, connecting leaders, and empowering businesses to grow and create jobs. Speaking before the close of the Endeavour today, ZAM Chief Executive Officer Montanga Lindunda said her association was proud to participate at the Manufacturing Endeavour, as the event provided a platform that Zambia could use to leverage its regional advantage. Ms. Lindunda observed that from a regional trade point of view, Zambia is no longer considered just landlocked but a land-linked country with an avalanche of opportunities due to its strategic position among 8 neighboring countries. She noted that this strategic position does not only give it a comparative advantage with ease of access to the Great Lakes region and beyond, but also makes it a critical hub under the African Continental Free Trade Area for facilitating cross-border trade and future manufacturing growth. Meanwhile, Industrial Development Corporation IDC Head of Investment Mulumba Lwatula emphasized the critical role of the manufacturing industry or sector in driving economic growth. Mr. Lwatula said manufacturing serves as a vital catalyst for development by establishing robust industrial ecosystems and fostering collaboration among sector players. And Zambia's Acting High Commissioner to South Africa, Ms. Inonge Mwenya was part of a distinguished delegation at the Manufacturing Indaba 2025 conference and exhibition, which was held at the Santan Convention Center, Johannesburg, South Africa. This is contained in a statement issued by Zambia High Commission South Africa First Secretary Press and Public Relations, Tamara Nyirenda. And in other news trending this evening, the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD is concerned with remarks made by Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ Chairperson Mwangala Zalomis, in which she warned that any individual political party that is not contesting 60,000 kwacha or 2 years in prison. In a landmark achievement that is inspiring entrepreneurs across Chipangali constituency, Mishek Cherry, popularly known as Kabango Innovations, has successfully completed the full repayment of his Constituency Development Fund CDF loan, becoming the first beneficiary to do so. Up next, the business news.
Fathers on Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry Mwenya Cheta has highlighted the role of transforming Zambia's economy. Speaking during discussion at the Invest Zambia International Conference held at Mulungushi International Conference Center today, Ms. Chisheta said that small and medium enterprises must be equipped with the right dialogue tools and skills to remain competitive. She pointed out that closing the digital divide is urgent. It begins with improving access to technology and innovation. Ms. Chisheta added that government is putting policies in place to support digital trade and create a better environment for business growth. She further acknowledged the role of local innovation hubs like Bongo Hive in driving tech-based solutions for entrepreneurs and noted that COMESA's simplified trade regime is helping to ease cross-border business for SMEs. Ends the business news.
Fathers on Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And in news from across our borders, the UN Human Rights Chief says his office has received credible reports of violations and abuses, including summary killings during the recent violence in the southern city. Among the alleged perpetrators were members of the security forces and individuals affiliated with the interim government, as well as local DRAS and DEDO armed elements, Volklek Tag said in a statement. Almost 600 people are reported to have been since sectarian clashes between DRAS militias and Bedouin tribes erupted in the province on Sunday. And in sports news, the Zambia women's nation is currently taking on Nigeria in a decisive Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON 2024 battle under the lights of Stade Labi Zaoli in Casablanca. The match, which started at 18 hours with live coverage on ZNBC, Diamond TV, and Supersport, is being officiated by Morocco referee Bouchra Kaboubi, with compatriot Ishen Hamaji and Huda Afen from Tunisia serving as the first and second assistant referees, respectively. Tunisia's Dusaf has been appointed as the fourth official. The VAR duties is being handled by Algeria's Lalou Ben Brahim, with Moroccan Fatia Jeroum as the assistant VAR. This high-stake fixture brings together two unbeaten sides who both finished their respective groups with 7 points from 2 wins, 1 draw. It is the mark It is the mark of the fourth WAFCON meeting between the two teams, but notably the first ever in a direct win knockout phase. Currently, Zambia is trailing by 2 goals to 0 to Nigeria, and the match is 43 minutes played so far. And the weather is that the evening is mainly clear, slightly windy, and mild to cool. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But go a recap of the stories that made headlines. Acting Minister of Agriculture Peter Kapala has clarified government has not signed any memorandum of understanding with the Democratic Republic of Congo for the export of maize or mealie meal. Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali has commissioned the 100 kilowatt solar powered hybrid system for the Ministry of Transport and Logistics. And finally, the UN Human Rights Chief says his office has received credible reports indicating widespread violations and abuses, including summary executions and arbitrary killings during the recent violence in the southern city of Soweto. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sunny Banda. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.